The Niners made that game look a lot easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be close scoring. I thought it would be low scoring. The Niners were like, nope, Jets suck. Or at least when they play the Niners. What's different about this team than last year's team?
I think there's a few things. It's very, very early. This is a very early return. Who knows what it's going to look like? Let's go back and forth. I have multiple things. You may only have one, whatever. Anyways, the biggest thing I noticed is that the others are contributing right away. We just talked about it. CMC didn't play. Ayuk didn't play well. Trent, that wasn't the best version of Trent Williams that we're going to see. Debo was meh. Kittle wasn't targeted per usual for the most part. I mean, outside of a couple good catches, they needed other people to step up. You know, you've already got Greenlaw injured. You've got Huff out. So you have guys like Mason stepping up big time when he's given a moment. You have Floyd opposite of Bosa. A lot of people complained about how Bosa didn't play well, didn't take over a game the way that TJ Watt would or has. But Floyd played really well.
Mm-hmm.
Saubert, very, very good blocker. Man, there was multiple highlight runs where he was the catalyst to breaking things open. Very, very good job there. And then Jennings doing Jennings things, man. He's the fifth target, but he's so damn reliable. He's the Draymond Green of this offense. The Draymond Green of this offense to me. He's just so vital, so important. A box score may not tell you what he does throughout the game that helps you win, but ultimately he does help them win in a big way. So I think the other players contributing early, giving them a big reason to win, I think that's super important to see this early on.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like going from Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, who were in and out, working through stuff, not fully healthy, at least last year, to Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott.
Yeah.
Solid. And then going from Chase Young, who had like the worst motor of any defensive end in the league, to Leonard Floyd, who has one of the best motors. That's a big upgrade. Two right there. I mean, three, actually, if you really three on defense alone. And then to me, the biggest difference from last year. And I think I don't want to get in my, I'm not picking the Niners to win the Super Bowl after one game, although I'm so excited about this team right now. I'm so excited. To me, the biggest difference from last year is Dominic Pooney, man. Like, if they had this guy last year, if they had Dominic Pooney in either of their Super Bowls against the Chiefs, would they have folded in the fourth quarter against Chris Jones like that? I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen him face Chris Jones. Maybe he will too. But something tells me he can hold his own. And that's such a game changer for the 49ers, a guy like that in the interior.
Pooney's done nothing but look good. I do want to pump the brakes on him a little bit.
No, he's an all-pro, Hall of Famer.
A lot of his reps were against Solomon Thomas, who we know is just not good. But Pooney has passed every test so far. I think this week's going to be a really fun test for him, a good litmus test because of the way that this defense blitzes and what have you. But also, if Banks doesn't play and Burford plays left guard, that might be a glimpse into the future of like, should we not pay Banks? Because Banks is going to be expensive, probably more than what he's worth this offseason. You can't pay everybody. So I think seeing Burford out there with Pooney might be a good look into what it could possibly look like. I do like that. But yeah, man, it's I think that for me is like the biggest one. Another one for me is the run defense. At times last year, they were getting gashed, Grant. Anytime that teams were able to stay in games, they were able to run the ball on the 49ers. This was supposed to be a team with Breece Hall, arguably the second best running back in the league, a much improved offensive line, and they couldn't do anything consistently in the run game. That was an impressive run defense. Without Greenlaw and without Hufanga, I would have never guessed that.
I was very impressive what they did. I do want to see if they can do it again against the Vikings, who have a better offensive line for sure. Like the Jets have a really good running back, but I don't know about their offensive line. And I think the Vikings can run the ball. So if the Niners shut down Minnesota, I'm with you on that. Agree. Mitchell and Ness says Grant Scott Jennings been steady Eddie. Why did we have to draft Pearsall again? We could have had all-pro center Frazier. I mean, it does seem kind of strange that they brought in. And now we do know that we're in the process of trading Brandon Ayuk, so maybe that has something to do with it. But Jennings is good. He's been on fire since the end of last season, and it seems like he's picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, he is very good. And it seemed weird immediately when they gave Jennings an extension through next year, that's when it seemed really weird that they had drafted any receiver in round 1.
Then we got the Jordan Mason factor. Like, he has really put himself in a position where the Niners can't bury him again. Can't. Christian McCaffrey's back. He's 100% healthy. Cool. Find 10 to 15 carries for Jordan Mason. You have to.
Yeah, I think if you give Mason 10 carries, CMC 15, and maybe CMC, 5 targets in the pass game, that's totally fine. That's not overusing CMC, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if Kyle wants to run the ball 40 times a game, then boom, there you go. 20 for Mason, 20 for
20
McCaffrey.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You got 20
No
carries.
more for Debo. That's
Mason.
over.
No.
You can give him the carries on end arounds and stuff like that. That's great.
Yeah, it's obvious. When he lines up in the backfield, it's a guarantee he's touching the ball pretty much. And defenses just key in on him. Plus, why do you
there's no
want to
play action scheme out of that? There's no drop back scheme out of that.
Nothing you can do with it. I mean, he couldn't even get open on a Texas route out of the backfield like that.
He couldn't beat the linebacker.
Yeah, it just, you can't do it anymore. Doesn't make sense.
Can't do it.
Now, if you put him back there with CMC, that you can get fun with that. But by himself, it's like, dude, he's going to touch the ball. So why even?
Another big difference from last year is Sorensen. Clearly, he went up against freaking Nathaniel Hackett. So this is going to be a much better test for him. What do you do against Kevin O'Connell and a competent offense with some talent at the skill positions?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, we're going to see. He's going to have ups and downs. But I think for game 1, he handled it pretty dang good, man. Pretty dang good.
Okay.
It's because he was on the sideline. He was on the sideline. We didn't.
Yeah.
We should probably mention that.